Today, we're going to be using the command line interface in Microsoft Windows to format a USB drive. For many of you, this will be the first time you've ever used command line interface to do anything on a computer, and that's great. This is going to be a fun experience, and I promise you by the end of this course, you're going to be a pro at this. But I do know that it can be a little intimidating at first, so just take a deep breath, read the instructions carefully, make sure to execute all the commands just as written, and you're going to be just fine. And most importantly, go slow and don't be afraid to ask questions if you need to. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start this process without your USB drive plugged in. And so the first thing we need to do is open a command window. And so the easiest way to do this is to hop on down here to the search bar in Windows, which you can see right here, and type CMD. Now we're going to run this as an administrator. So you probably have the option to either open or run as an administrator. And in this instance, we're going to choose run as an administrator. We're usually going to run our command line interface as an administrator because it causes fewer problems. And so it's possible that you don't have this option. So like if you're using a work laptop where your administrator privileges are hopefully locked down, you may not see that option, but yeah, you probably will. And so select it if it is there. And if it's not, just click on open anyway, and it should work okay. But running as an administrator is usually causes fewer problems. And so we're going to click yes here. All right, and so now we have a command window open. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to again start this process without your USB plugged in. So the USB is unplugged, and we're going to type in the command disk part. And this is actually sort of a program that you can open via command line. And so we know that it's open when we see this disk part with a little caret right there ready to go. And so now disk part is open. And so with disk part open, we're going to type the command list disk. And remember, my USB drive is not plugged in right now. And so right now I'm showing only one disk 0. This is pretty obviously my hard drive. It's the only disk shown. It's the right size to be my hard drive. And you may see a whole bunch of disks. So if you have a lot of USB drives plugged in, or you have other external storage, or maybe some USB devices that your computer thinks are disks, you could see tons of disks. You could see 10 disks. But right now I don't have anything else plugged in. So disk 0 at 238 gigabytes is my hard drive. And so now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my USB drive. This is always an adventure. Let's see if we can get this to work. All right, my USB drive is in, and I'm going to run this command again. We're going to say list disk. All right, and so now instead of just one disk 0, I show disk 0 and disk 1. And so disk 1 has 28 gigabytes. And so for this class, we're using 32 gigabyte USB drives. And so your computer will never make all of that storage available to you. So my computer thinks that this is a 28 gigabyte USB drive, and that's fine. Yours will probably be in the same neighborhood, but it will likely not say the full 32 gigabytes. So don't freak out if it's not the exact size that you were expecting, but the point is to be able to look at this and see that, yeah, that disk 1 is most likely my USB drive. And so it's really important to get this right, because the next command we're going to run is going to essentially obliterate that disk. So you really don't want to aim it at your hard drive or aim it at anything you really like. You want to aim it at the USB drive that you're using for this class. And so the command to clean this USB drive is really pretty simple. It's clean, just like the word clean. So type clean and hit return. Oh no, I lied. See, I made a mistake. So instead, the next command we're going to do is we're going to have to select that disk. And so we're going to select disk 1. All right, now we can go ahead and say clean. See, even I make mistakes all the time too. So we have disk 1 selected, and we're going to type the command clean. It's going to do its thing. And any second now, disk part succeeded in cleaning the disk. So we have now a clean USB drive. This is essentially completely blank. It doesn't have anything on it. It doesn't even have a file system on it right now. So we need to go ahead and create a partition and a file system on this USB drive so that your computer knows what to do with it when we start writing to it. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the command create partition primary. All right, we have a specified partition, and then we're going to type the command format fs for file system, I think, equals FAT32. And so this will go ahead and create a FAT32 file system on this USB drive. Now, an FAT32 file system, it's a really old and slow file system type, but it's highly compatible, meaning it works with lots of different systems and so causes the fewest problems. And so at this point, we're going to go ahead and pause the recording simply because this could take a little bit. Sometimes it could take upwards of 2 to 3 hours. And so I will pick up this recording when that process is complete. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, we are back. Now that took my admittedly pretty slow computer almost 3 hours to do. So, this could take you a while, but we know we're done when, as you can see on the screen, we have 100% completed. Disk part successfully formatted the volume, and we're back to disk part caret with the little blinking cursor, indicating that the computer's ready for the next command. And we're almost done. We have only one more command to run, and that is the command assign. Just like the word assign, hit return. Give it a second. All right, now disk part successfully assigned the drive letter or mount point. And so what this means is that the USB drive now has a letter so that your computer will recognize it, and you can see that it popped up in the corner of my screen that this is now the E drive for this computer. And there we have it. We've just used command line to format a USB drive, and this is the first time you've ever used command line to do anything on your computer. Congratulations! And like I mentioned in the introduction to this video, we're going to be doing a lot of this semester, and I promise you, it feels a little weird, and it's just kind of a different way of interacting with a computer. By the end of the semester, you're going to be a pro at this.
This tutorial was prepared by the Center for Cybersecurity and Privacy Protection at Cleveland Marshall College of Law, Cleveland State University.